April, May, June Stitcher here. Today is Sunday the 30th of August and I'm here to do my 21st Flosstube update. I haven't got quite a lot to show you, but I thought I would actually do a WIP Parade as well today, because I haven't done one of those since my very first Flosstube video, and I think it's changed quite a lot. I'm not going to include things that I started but I've put back into my stash. So but we'll start with my WIPs. Everything that I've started in August I've actually finished or FFO'd, so I've only got one WIP to show really, and then the other one was a test for something that I'd like to start in September. But anyway, my first WIP is, well, my only WIP is Let My Examples Shine by Chessie and Me, and I love this. I love all the colours, and this is where I am. So I'm hoping to finish this today. I've only got the border to do and the grass at the bottom, but yeah, I love everything about this. Oh. I'm going to put everything away as I go, just so I don't get myself in a muddle. And then this is what I'd like to start in September, but it was more just a test to see how it's going to look. And this is Mary Carter 1712 by Hands Across the Sea. This was released as the Queen of the May for 2020. Now I'm going to make some changes to this. Quite a big change. That's I love all the colours in the photo. Anyway, this is what I started, and I'm doing mine in the DMC, but the colours look, they look a bit garish, but these are what I'm going to use. But I'm actually not going to stitch the verse as charted. I'm going to change it to a Shakespeare sonnet number 116, which is it's what I can't remember if it appears in the book, but it's in the film Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet, and it's the sonnet between Marianne and Willoughby, and I've recharted this to fit into the sampler, because this means quite a lot to me for one reason or another, and I just really like the sonnet. But what I've done is used the alphabet from the Hands Across the Sea sampler and charted every letter as it is in the original. This is quite extreme, but I found it quite difficult to read the words. I was constantly flipping over pages and I only wanted to find certain letters, but what I ended up doing was photocopying the chart and sticking it all together. But it's about 5 foot it's about 5 foot long. It was the only way I could make sense of what was actually written and look for the letters. I just found it quite funny that it's like map size. But yet that is what I'm going to do, and hopefully I'm going to work on this throughout September for sampler September, hopefully. That's that. And then I've got some finishes, and these were all what I started in August. Now this is only tiny, but this is You Be Well by Shepherd's Bush. This was the freebie that they did for the pandemic, and I just loved this. I loved all the colours, and I used some leftover silks that I've got and just picked them just to sort of match the colours that they had picked. But I love that. I think it's really sweet, and I love Shepherd's Bush anyway. And then the next one is, let me just get an envelope. This is Random Thoughts by The Drawn Thread. Now I'm calling this a finish, and I have left off the border that they've charted and the little bit of pulled work. This is what it's supposed to look like now. You'll have to forgive me for this. I thought I was tearing up my working copy of my chart, but no, I was actually tearing up the proper copies. So you'll have to forgive how it looks, I'm afraid. But you can see that there is some pulled work and a border around it, but I really liked it how it was. And also I made quite a big mistake with this part. This letter N should be in line with the letter L here, and this should be should have more space. And I'd done this, all of this, this and along here before I realised how wrong I'd gone, but I didn't want to rip it out, so I actually took some elements, because that's what it should look like, if you can see on my ripped up copy. It should be lined up here, and there's actually a tree here which I didn't have room to put in, so I took some elements from another Drawn Thread chart that I've got called Sampler of Stitches, and I use that to just fill in some little motifs. So it's this flower, this here, and this here, and then I was able to rechart the verse to fit, and I don't think it looks too bad, but there's all sorts of speciality stitches in this and in here. It was a bit to me it was a bit odd, because the designer had put her initials here, but also they were charted down here along with the year, and then the year was also put in here, but I didn't want to do that, so I found a little bee charm, so I added that in there. And then I also I found this motif from the Sampler of Stitches and put that in instead, because it was the year again, initials, first and middle initial, and then full surname, and then I left out the year as well there. So, but anyway, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and it's got all these little tiny charms, loads of speciality stitches, some 1/1, and I also made changes to, there was some pulled work on this, and I just couldn't get on with it. I don't know whether it was the silk, because it's all done in silk. I bought it as a kit from the Nimble Thimble, and it just wouldn't it wouldn't stay pulled, and I was going to wreck my fabric, so I didn't end up doing it, and I just used cross stitch instead. And it's round there, the border here, and this bit was all pulled work. It's just there, if you can see it. So I ended up using all the colours from what was used in the chart, and I just did blocks of they're not Algerian islands, not Algerian islands, they're not Smyrna crosses, I can't remember what they're called, but that's what I did instead, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and I'd like to get this framed. Hopefully I'll be taking it next week to get framed. And then the other finish I got, this was also a purchase, but this is a Butterfly Garden, again by the Drawn Thread, and these are the first two projects where I think I've started them and finished them all in one go. But this is Butterfly Garden, and it's 22 inches long, and it's got loads of speciality stitches. And this was, I don't know what it was, but I loved working on this. It was just a joy to stitch on. It's absolutely massive, but again I'm going to take this next week to get framed. Yeah, and it was just a joy to stitch on, but there isn't actually that much, people have laughed when I've said this, but there isn't actually that much cross stitching in the chart, except for the house, but a lot of it is made up of back stitch, so it makes it, you only have to do a little bit of cross stitching and then fill it in with back stitch to make the vines, to make it look quite impressive. There is some 1/1, but yeah, I love all the colours and how it's turned out. I say I started and then literally didn't work on anything else. That wasn't true for Sampler of Stitches. I did actually start Strawberry House by it's either Country Cottage or Little House Needleworks, I can't remember, and I finished that and then picked up the Random Thoughts again. But yeah, I'm really pleased with those two quite big finishes for August, whatever month we're in. Now I've got some FFOs to show you. This is Brenda Gervais Souvenirs of the Heart, I think. Yeah, I just made it into a pillow using some flannel fabric and some Lady Dot Creates chenille. And then I've got I can't remember what this is called. I know it's by Jeanette Douglas. It was supposed to have a border and some more stitches down here, but I just wanted to stitch the basket. But I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and some spring type fabric that goes quite well, and some thin chenille. And then this was just a tiny little Christmas. I was supposed to do an ornament a month from the Just Cross Stitch Ornaments magazines, but I think I only did 2. But anyway, that was my little pillow. I can't remember who that was. And then just backed it with some fabric. And then this is it Queen of the Needle? I think by Brenda Gervais, and it's supposed to have Queen of the Needle here and then some more stitching bar. I just wanted to do the lady, so I used some floral fabric and then I added some ribbon. I wasn't sure if I'd done too much on this one, but yeah, I quite like how this one has turned out as well. But I sort of added the thread on as if it was free flowing from the cotton reel. Yeah, I need to add, I've only just stuck it on with a pin because I wanted to see how it looked. But I need to do a new bow because it looks a bit rubbish, that one. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. And then this one is a start and a finish and an FFO for August. This is Strawberry House by, I think it's Little House Needleworks. And I stitched it on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, and I just stuffed it in this frame that I've got. It was actually, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but it's wooden, but it was spray painted silver. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but when I got it, it was this, because this was so rigid and it was a really, really cheap frame anyway. But you'd run your hands along here and you get splinters. So I sanded it all down and that took the paint off. And it almost looked like it had just been whitewashed then. But I painted it with a really dark brown paint, acrylic paint. It'll probably look black on the video. And then I just sanded it down again to make it look a bit more distressed. But I love how it's turned out. I wish it fit better in the frame, but for a cheap finish, I love how it's turned out, and I love how small it is on 40 count. And then my final FFO is, and I love this, how it's turned out. This is Stars by the Drawn Thread, and the frame, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the veneer, it's a little bit distressed, and it overlaps, and I love that. But yeah, this, when I'd finished this, I loved this design, but when I'd finished it, it's done on 32 count cobblestone, but I think in my kit I had 32 count granite, and that fabric is just, there's something about it that almost like sucks the colour out of everything, and it can make things look a bit drab. I don't know what it is, but as soon as my L&S put this frame up against it, it almost lifted the fabric, and I just love how much it's changed the picture and made the blue really pop. I think this is my favourite finish I've got, and I love how the stars look like they're twinkling. But yeah, I was so pleased when I picked this up last week. So that is everything I've worked on this month. I feel like I've had quite a productive August with all of my finishes, and I'd lost my stitchy bug a little bit last time, I think, so it was really nice to get back on track and feel like I've really achieved something this month, and I'm super pleased with my two finishes. And I don't know what it is about the drawn thread, but yeah, whether or not is it the silk, I don't know, there was just something about them where it was just like glorious to stitch on them. I don't know why, but anyway, I'm just going to put all this back and then I will do a WIP Parade. This one is, I haven't got a picture to show you because I've got a digital copy, but I'll insert a picture here. But this is Mushroom and Fern by Chatelaine. I started this, I think it was last year at the Milton Keynes cross stitch retreat in whatever month it was, I can't even remember, maybe it was October, and I haven't picked it up since. This is on 28 count Babbling Brook by Joblin. It doesn't look that mottled in real life, but yeah, that's my biggest frame that I've got, and then the rest will just be in bags, and I am going to put them away as I go. This is, you will have seen some of these in my last video, but I'm going to just show everything anyway. This is a Heap on the Wood by Brenda Gervais. And this is where I am. I think everything's gone out of the window this year for Stitch 10 in 20 and anything I had planned to do this year, just because of how things have gone. But I'm just going to enjoy stitching on what I'm going to choose to stitch on. But anyway, yeah, I really love this one, and I'm doing this on 40 count. I think it's Flax by Zweigart. And they're in no particular order. Oh, this is Bobbin for Pumpkins, again by Brenda Gervais, and this is on 36 count Straw by Weeks Dye Works, and that's where I am. I think I've got 20 WIPs, but I'm not entirely sure. This is Blackbird's Winter Delivery by Blackbird Designs, and this is on 30 count Aztec Red by Weeks Dye Works. I showed this last time. This is Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. This is where I'd gone terribly wrong on the barn, but that's where I am. So I'm sorry that these are repeating from last video, but just in the interest of showing all my WIPs. Oh, this is, I didn't show this last time and I forgot. I bought this off eBay. It didn't have, it had the cover was missing, and this is Yuletide Cottage by Elizabeth Designs, I think it is. I can't remember. I rewatched, and this is one of my favourite things to do. I love to rewatch old Flosstube videos, and I rewatched Farm Girls videos, and I saw that, and because I think you miss things when you first watch them, and I loved this when she showed it, so I managed to find a copy on eBay and I started it, and that's where I got to. Elizabeth Foster, but I know that she's got a Elizabeth Designs, I think it's called. Oh, I'm going to show that one first. I know I showed this one last time as well. There Dwells My Heart by Shepherd's Bush. I'd really like to get this done because I love working on Shepherd's Bush designs. That's where I am for that one. This is Holly Manor from the Peppermint and Holly book. I'm sure that's the name of it, by Blackbird Designs, and that's where I am. I've borrowed my copy from my friend Christina. This one was a restart, and this is more nostalgia than anything else. But this is Mermaid of the Pearls by Mirabilia, and this is where I am. I originally started it on, I bought it as a kit years ago, and it was originally on 14 count Ada or 16 count Ada, and I restarted it, and I do want to get it done because again it is about nostalgia for me. But I restarted it on 32 count Murano, and I can't remember what the name of the fabric is, but it's from Sparklies. But yeah, I restarted that last year, I think it was, and I should work on it. I know. Oh, something you've not seen for ages. This is In All Seasons by Tawny Cotton. Oh, and I think this is really beautiful, and I've not worked on this since the last time I showed you, which is however many videos ago, and that is where I am. This is on 32 count Murano BST, which is British Summertime by Sparklies. I know that was one of my Stitch 10 in 20 projects for this year, but I'm completely ignoring that now. Oh, I don't know whether I've ever shown you this, but this is Stitching Witch by Homespun Elegance, and I only made a quick start. I think I started this on a Zoom call, and that's where I am. This is on a 32 count Chromatic Alchemy fabric of the month. I can't remember the name of it though. I think I showed this last time. This is Home for the Holidays by Blackbird Designs, and it's this one that I am working on. And this is on 28 count Monaco that I rip dyed, and that's where I am. This is Faith, Hope, Peace, Love by Teresa Kogut. This is where I am. I love this one, and I was going to pick this up for instead of the Chessie and Me one that I worked on. I'm stitching this on 40 count Sheep Straw by R&R. Oh. This is Glitter Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. I've got all the charts. I was going to keep up. It's going to be good. I've only stitched and not finished the first cottage. I made some changes to it, and this is on the called for 32 count 32 count natural with the metallic. I can't remember what they call it, the proper name for it, but it's on the called for anyway. And this one, I started this last year. This is, what is this called? Victorian, I'll put the chart in half. Sorry. This is a Victorian house by Nora Corbett, and this is stitched on 32 count star sapphire. That's where I am. I fell in love with that last year, and now I'm not too sure. I've got all the beads and everything, but yeah, well, this is Merry Christmas by Art to Heart. Loved this as soon as I saw it and started it, and then I've never finished it. And this is on 32 count. It's either Water Lily or something like that, or Star Sapphire. I think it's Water Lily by Permin or Witchold. I think I showed this not so long ago. This is Scenic Farm by Dimensions, and that's where I am. I'm not going to stitch the sky because I'm doing it on some hand dyed fabric from Sparklies. This was a fabric of the month. It's 36 count, but I don't know what the name of it is. But it's quite a wintry sky looking fabric, so it'll cut down on all the stitching I've done on it. This was a start when we first went into lockdown. This is Spring Snow by Ink Circles, and this is where I am, and this is done on 30 count Dove by Weeks Dye Works. So I've done most of the one half. I just need to do the other and fill in a bit of snow and little bits. This is Angel's Song by Shepherd's Bush. And this is where I am. I really love this. And then finally, and I do want to work on this in October, it's Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker, and I love this, but I've not worked on it for ages. And this is on the call for 30, well, it's not the right count, but I'm doing mine on 36 count Murky by Picture This Plus. And I just love these colours, and I'm definitely going to stitch on this in October this year. And I have got other, I'm not calling them whips, but I've started other things, but I've just put them away and pretending that they're not whips. I'm just adding this little bit of video in here because I completely forgot to show probably my most important WIP, which is Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs, which I was all gung-ho and sweeping statements of I am going to finish this year. But this I started stitching on a frame, and since I started this one, I've learnt how to stitch in hand, and that's what I prefer. That's how I prefer to stitch now. But I was going to continue stitching on a frame on this one to make all my stitches look the same. But after a Zoom call with some of my friends, they just said it doesn't matter, just as long as you pick it up and stitch on it, it doesn't matter how you stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to work on this in hand because I will be more inclined to pick it up then. So I can't believe I forgot to add this to my WIP Parade, but here it is now anyway. And then I've just got purchases to show you next. So let me just put all this away and I'll be back. So purchases that I've made since my last video. I was on a bit of a hands across the sea kick. So I bought Jane Hearth. This is a little gem. I was contemplating on starting this one on the 1st of September as well. And then I also bought the new release, Mary Ann Diaper 1826. And I loved this centre motif, but also the deer down here. I bought this as a kit on eBay, and I'm not sure if it's a kit that's been made by the person who was selling it, or if it's how it was kitted up, because it is slightly different than the finish. But this is Blues and Browns sampler pillow by Brenda Gervais, and that's the finishing fabric that I've got, and it's lace rather than rickrack. So I'm not sure, I'm not entirely sure. It's got the which I've already dyed, but it's not necessarily the right colour. But it's 20 count. Oh, I'm dropping everything. It's really big, and that to me looks as if it's quite small, but it's not. It's 22 count a rosier, I think it is, but I'm not sure. I think it's going to be quite big. Well, I think it is. I know it will be, but yeah, I loved how. Well, I love the muted colours on that. I bought Peace House by Lardidar. This is, I've been eyeing this up for ages. This is a model in my L&S Betty Stitch kit, and it's absolutely beautiful. The colours are gorgeous. The picture doesn't really do it justice, and she's just done it on a piece of 36 count natural. I could insert a picture here. Of her finish, and I love everything about it. So I finally pulled the trigger and bought the chart. And then this is My Peaceful Home by Plum Street Samplers. Whenever this was released, it completely passed me by, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's new, and it's not. It's from last year. But yeah, I love that. I'd love to be able to finish something into a drum, but I don't know whether I've got it in me to do. Then I've got the Milk and Cream Company by Plum Street Samplers. I bought these, I bought 2 charts from Humble Bumble Stitcher. I think this was the other one, I'm not sure. The Cereal Bowl Collection by Plum Street Samplers, Lesson 3. These, I've wanted this one for a while. And then another Plum Street Samplers, Gathering Honey. Love this. And, I bought Hands-On Design, Wreath House. And I bought the Prairie Schooler 2020 Santa. Another bee one. This is, what is this called? The Stitching Bee by Little House Needleworks. I've wanted to get this for ages since it was released, but it's been sold out every time I've gone to buy it. And then I saw it at the Nimble Thimble, so I just picked it up. I thought I finally got it. And I've already just selected some threads that I think I'll do. This was another one that I've wanted these ever since I first saw them, but they were out of print. But then Blackbird Designs finally released them. But it was either one of them was always sold out, and then somebody was selling them on eBay as a set. And I'm not sure if these are the reprints or the originals, I'm not sure. It's summer, autumn and winter, and I know some people have changed the birds to be darker, and that's what I would like to do. And then I've also got Jane Fiddis coming in the post by Hands Across the Sea. I've already started collecting some of the threads for that one. And then another Blackbird Designs coming to my garden. This was released earlier. Was it this month or even the end of last month? I'm not sure, but I think this is lovely. I love that border. And then, I know I've mentioned this before, I'm not religious, but I do like the stories from the Bible. So this is The Flood by Plum Street Samplers, and I love this. It's absolutely massive though, but I think it's so beautiful, and it's those 2 giraffes and the rain in the sky. The ship, it's amazing. Lots of stitching though. It's quite a thick chart actually. And then I did a special order for this because I was again rewatching one of Farm Girl's old I think it was from a retreat that she did, and somebody had got this as a finish. And this is the Pastoral by The Drawn Thread, but it was finished as the it's as a full, as that finish, rather than into the sewing pocket. So I'm not sure which one I want to do, but I've got all the silks for it, because that's how the Nimble Thimble sell their charts. So I love all the colours. I love this teal green. And then the other one by The Drawn Thread is the Riddle. Again, this is as a kit. And these are the silks, which I think they're gorgeous. I was going to start this yesterday, but I was a good girl and worked on a WIP. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the drawn thread at the moment with me. And then I've got 2 other charts by Brenda Gervais, The Witch's Brew. And I love this because most cross stitches are about coffee, but Witch's Brew is very much tea for me, which I love tea. I don't like coffee. So, and I managed to get the little spoon, and I'm doing this on some 34 count Puritan Grey by Legacy Linen. The call for is Heron Grey 38 count by Legacy Linen, but this is what I've got in my stash. And then the other one is Hildeboo and Sunflowers 2. And I had to have these as soon as I saw that they were being released, and I was really surprised that we got them in the UK quite quickly. And then I've got this fabric from my stash. It's 36 count. I can't remember the name of the fabric by Sparklies, but I think it'll work quite well. It's not that mottled in real life, and I've just got the main colour of the thread there. So that's everything I've bought. And then because I mention it every single video, I did just want to say, just tell you about what my Stitchy BFF has done. And I know a lot of people have already seen this on Instagram, but I'm really proud of her that she's done this, and she's worked really hard. But she's started to buy some reproduction. She started to buy some samplers and then has started to reproduce them, and she's released one last week and one yesterday. And this is Emily Harburn by Whilst Iris Naps, and it's absolutely beautiful. And she's put an awful lot of effort into research on Emily, and she gets really involved, and it's I'm just really proud of her that she's worked so hard on them. And then the other one that is released yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, is Sarah Watson. Yeah, but her husband Tom has made all the frames for Christina stitches everything and pins and laces them, and Tom makes the frame for her, and they've just done a superb job. I'll link her Instagram and her website down below, and their PDF downloads, and she's just done an amazing job. You'll get a black and white chart and a colour chart. There's the call for fabric and threads, but then also a DMC conversion. You'll get the research that she's done. So yeah, I strongly recommend that you just go and check them out. She's got some new releases coming next month as well. But yeah, she just please go and show her some support if you can, and like her on Instagram. That is everything from me, I think. Yeah, it's I feel like that was quite short, but albeit I did show quite a lot. But hopefully I will be back next month, and hopefully I will have done as much stitching, and I can stick with the sampler September and not go off on a tangent somewhere like I normally do. And I hope everybody stays safe and well and carries on wearing their masks when they go out. And I will see you all next time.